Hello. So I just got off of a Zoom phone call, and I was given the opportunity to share my story with someone today, someone I've never shared my story with before, in the planning process of being able to share my recovery story with a lot of people my age, people older than me. And she, at the end, this lady was asking me some questions that might come up after I'm done speaking, and they opened the floor up for anybody who wants to ask me something. And one of the questions was, what would you say to somebody that says that recovery isn't for them? And this question really got to me because when I was really deep in my eating disorder, really deep into recovery, I'm getting emotional. I genuinely thought that there was something fundamentally wrong with me. I genuinely thought that my life was going to be under a microscope forever. I genuinely thought my life was darkness, and that if I were to continue, if I were to be here, that it would never change and I would never love my life. And here's what I have to say. If your mind says that recovery isn't for you, that you're not sick enough, that it might work for your next door neighbor, but you just can't do it, pick a value and defend it. Because you might think that you have nothing in you to do recovery. You may not even want recovery. But there's values inside each of us. And maybe you've seen somebody go down a really dark path and you think, I'm just like them. There's no way that my life can look different than theirs. Pick a value and defend it. Defy what you've seen. Defy it. Challenge it. If your brain says you can't, try it. Try it for one meal. Try it for one day. Try being open with your therapist for one session. Try talking to a friend for a minute, but make that minute honest. Put in the hard work to eat that meal. Be vulnerable with your therapist. Speak up in a group setting. Because while your brain says that you're helpless and that nobody's going to be able to help you and that you're not helpful, it's not telling the truth. There's a value inside of each and every one of us. And so whether that value is telling the truth, being supportive, being a good friend, loving somebody, loving yourself, whatever that small value is inside of you, defend it. Show yourself you can do it, because you can. There is something inside all of us, and whether it is true or whether it is false, there's a belief in each of us. But recovery only happens when you find that belief and you do something about it and you do something with it. And it's hard. It is so hard. And I can tell you, and I get really emotional about it because I know what it's like to not think that you're going to be here. And I know what it's like for your mind to say that if you wake up tomorrow, it'll be a miracle. But I know what it's like to walk in freedom. And I know what it's like for the pieces to come together when they were too broken and too scattered for your own hands. When they come together and they make something beautiful. Because you wouldn't be here if you weren't meant to be here. And I know that you think that you might think you're too far gone. You're not. You're really not. And it's not going to be easy. There were nights I literally cried myself to sleep. There were nights where I was terrified of the idea that if I needed food to stay alive and I had to eat every day, that there was no way I could do that. I remember them telling me, Mia, your body is shutting down. And I remember thinking, it's not possible for me to be healthy. There's something wrong with me, and I'm unfixable. And if I'm gonna live this way forever, then what is the point? But there is a point of even your struggle. There is a point to the depths of your despair. And if you can just find the tiniest bit of hope, what I was talking about earlier, the tiniest bit of a value, of a belief, find the belief, find the value, dissect it, stand on it, defend it, uphold it. Find somebody to speak into that value, to speak into that belief, and show you that it is worth fighting for. Open yourself up to help. Open yourself up to yourself, because sometimes you're literally blocked off from yourself. Which isn't to say, it's not for me to say that for you to be scared of yourself. You are the closest human person to you. So if you can fight against yourself, you can fight for yourself. You can do it. There is something inside of you that has a fragment of light. It's there. You are so loved. You are so loved. And you can do hard work. You can do hard